down. And there's the kick-off to the first test at Wembley. Straight to the captain, Edwards, and the return is on through Farrell. Look at Australia swarming in. Daly and Clyde. 5 of the Australians debutants at Wembley. 7 metres inside their own 20-metre line. And the big number 8 for Great Britain, Carl Harrison, who played so well for Halifax. Now Joint. Harrison again. Harrigan standing back as Roberts made that big tackle. And Edwards now. The theme of their success at Wembley has been to get their game based on a very good kicking game. And if Great Britain are to upset Australia, it will come from that. Ettinghausen now. 5 tries on the tour so far. Walters serves it up, and Clyde, who got smashed here in the World Cup in 1992. They didn't get a chance to see Bradley Clyde. Now Harrigan with a storming run. They're 45 out from the Great Britain line as the hooker gets offside at marker, and Daly puts it down into the corner. The nuggety winger, Jason Robinson, comes back and away to be met by Daly, who's making his Wembley debut today. And the tackle was Renoff.
Phil Clark nearly coming up with the first mistake there. Great start from Laurie Daly. Came up with the first tackle of the game, a very strong one. And I think we'll find that he will take on a lot of the role in the Australian kicking game. Alan Langer not particularly long. So Daly will be kicking for distance and field position.
Played by Darryl Powell. It's gone to the blind, and it's tackled there. The Great Britain number 12, Andrew Farrell. Back and onto the boot of Edwards once more. He's the most capped Great Britain player and the greatest achiever out there in this team today, Shaun Edwards. Rewarded with the captaincy. He hasn't captained Great Britain for 2 years. Now Wendell Sailor. The crowd, they've come to love him out here, but I tend to think they hate him today. Walters it is. And there's an obvious penalty. And Graham Annesley rules correctly on it.
Yes, Lee Jackson there deemed to never be standing in front of the man playing the ball in Sailor, always standing to the side.
He's been doing it all day, Paul, really.
That's right, and as he gives his first penalty to the Australians, not a popular decision here at Wembley. And with the football in the hands, Australia have looked twice as good as Great Britain at this stage, putting on some plays and around the rucks. Great Britain concerned to run one up.
The Australian bench, Stewart, Brasher, Pay and Ferner. The tap taken now. Meninga offered the decoy at Ettinghausen. A very busy start from the Cronulla centre. Utility back. Sirenen has been the target of some high shots. In fact, talking of that, McDermott is on the bench for Great Britain today. And now Australia, they take it just inside the 20-metre line. The 2 props, Roberts firstly and now Harrigan.
The right way is the way to come. They've caught a centre in Hunt outside Dennis Betts.
Here's Langer looking to hold it up and take it to the line. He wasn't prepared to put Daly under the pressure of a dump. He took the tackle. They go the blind. Meninga rolls it into the end goal. And back to the 20-metre line for the restart for the British side.
Yeah, definitely not the result that Mal Meninga was looking for. Very disappointed with that kick. Just looking to get the ball into the in-goal area to force a line drop out and another set of 6. Much too heavy. And now the restart with Jason Robinson coming in from the far wing, getting involved on the first tackle.
This is Chris Joint. He's playing his first match at Wembley, Joint. His first test match at Wembley. This is Hunt. And he, like Joint, are playing out of position. Joint up to the front row and Hunt in from the wing to the centres. Played by Jackson to the blind side now. Farrell, youngest forward ever to represent Great Britain. Penalty goes against Australia. They're inside the 10. And Edwards comes up and takes a quick penalty.
The Great Britain look a shambles early. They haven't as yet put 2 passes together.
Down on the Australian 20-metre line then. And Harrison, a willing worker, he led by example with his club side last Sunday. Now Farrell, 19 years of age. One of the many players from the Wigan club. They go to the right of the ground. Oh, good ball! And a great tackle. Betts pulled down there by Mullins it was, but there's pressure for Australia. Just short of the line. Well, Edwards walks back off the mark. Powell rolls it in. Mullins has missed it. Scooped away by Roberts, the number 8.
Well, that third play on that set of rucks, the ruck there was sensational. Betts got through, but a super tackle by Brett Mullins brought him down. And Darryl Powell, that little chip there at the end, and some danger for Australia.
Very good cover from a front rower. Mullins missed the football. Ian Roberts there, and he was needed. I don't think the start from Great Britain has been that bad, Fatty. Like, obviously they've come out just not wanting to make mistakes early in the game, so there's been plenty of one-out stuff. And the first time they had an opportunity in the danger area, lovely little short ball to Dennis Betts.
Robinson now. Farrell. Very busy start by Andrew Farrell. Joint now. 30 metres out, centre of the ground. To Edwards. Dummies on the right, and they come back to the left. A little hesitation in their work, but it's Betts. Just outside his 20-metre line. Harrison takes it ahead. Edwards into space. Pulled down again by Roberts. Great stuff by Roberts. To the right, Powell. Powell gets the kick in. Back to the 20-metre line as he's slammed away by Sirenen.
And that is a let-off for the Kangaroos. They did not need another set of 6 in defence. They've been busted twice now. The inside ball, Sean Edwards put him half through a gap. A great tackle from Roberts. No problem there with Sirenen taking out Powell. And now Steve Walters finds Brad Fittler, goes across field, throws a silly pass, but cleans up 6 again.
Fittler had to clean up his own work. And Clyde, piled into the ground by Betts. Walters gives it on. Roberts takes it ahead. And now they're 25 out. Ian Roberts, one of the interesting players in this game. He could well have played for Great Britain, having been born here, and was offered that opportunity in both 86 and in 90. As Langer keeps it fairly low, and a long run back for Jonathan Davis. Back in his own in goal. The hope of the Welsh. Davis in the number 1 shirt today. Offia. Away for Clark. Now Robinson. Harrison again taking it up. And met by the reception committee from the Green and Gold. Sideline comment, Alex Murphy.
Well, I think what Great Britain will be very interested in, that they've had 2 big chances there. A great tackle from Mullins and one from Roberts. And really, I think that was 2 searching tries. It's very interesting to see how they're using Dennis Betts. Dennis Betts has been brought more in as a running forward, and he could be a big danger if you don't close him down.
Spectacular take by Eddinghausen. This ball would be greasy to say the least. Mullins looking for space.
That's a great take from Andrew Eddinghausen. Very difficult with the ball coming over your head. A little bit of a juggle, but he made sure of it. And now the Australians 42 metres out from their own line. Langer runs the decoy. Lee Jackson looking to get out quickly, but misses Walters.
I don't think I've seen one play the ball where Jackson has been at front marker, that he's actually played within the rules. He's only been pinched for it once. Clyde is tackled on 5. They go to the blind again. Daly with the cross kick. And Davis with a long run back. It'll go over the dead ball line. The early stages of the first test, and no points on the board. As Martin Offia comes off Jackson. Connolly now playing in his 15th test, and has yet to score a try in test football. Away to the blind side where Robinson is on his own. And they're almost to the halfway, the British side. Now for Edwards. And he shows it as though he's going to kick it, and then was brought in by Harrigan before getting a short pass back to Connolly.
A little bit of a problem for Darryl Powell in the background for the Great Britain side as Phil Clark goes to the defence. Just getting some spray on what looks like a cork thigh. As on the last tackle, the ball goes back to Jonathan Davis. He's got time. Pretty ordinary kick off the side of the boot straight to Steve Renouf.
Well, Davis, though he made the mistake, went through and put everybody on side to make the tackle on Renouf. And now Saylor, the first receiver, is slammed by Harrison. They go wide now, looking for Langer, who in turn gives it to Daly, and Daly losing his footing before being tackled by Dennis Betts. Roberts is there to take it out a few more metres, and he's about 8 short of the halfway mark. Bobby Goulding stretching on the Great Britain bench. This is Harrigan now on the halfway line.
And obviously if Darryl Powell cannot continue with that cork thigh, Bobby Goulding would go to half and push Edwards out to 5'8".
Daly now. Quite precisely puts it down into the corner where it crosses the line. And a mandatory 10-metre scrum will see the restart. Well, Daly, of course, had an unhappy tour here in 1990. He missed the corresponding match at Wembley. And he's made no secret of the fact that he went through the tour with injury. That's his kick. And his main ambition is to show the English people just what he can do. And nobody really does it better in the modern game than Laurie Daly, as the scrum is about to be worked by Shaun Edwards. Powell with the ball still on the ground, even though it would seem Goulding has been told to get ready. And that won't worry Great Britain, because a lot of people thought he was very unlucky not to be in the run-on side. Robinson now playing it back on his own 20-metre line, and that's the hooker Jackson. Good work. He got around Big Serenin. Walters, though, shut the centre down. And this is Clark.
Fatty, we mentioned the word mobility before the game started. They do look pretty mobile, the pack of Great Britain, as they go wide on this occasion. Back inside to Powell. Now Edwards gets creamed. But they're causing some problems in the middle of the ruck.
Well, they are. They've gone, 5 rucks. They've made 70 metres. So if the game is picked up, they're starting to put a few things on, and the step and the skill is starting to come to fruition.
Eddinghausen now. Back into the field of play. Almost through Eddinghausen. It was a good tackle by Chris Joint, the front row forward. Saylor probed for an opening on the left on the short side. We're talking about the English pack being mobile. Their average age is 24. The Australians on the other side of the equation, 26 and a half. So on average, there's 2.5 years per man. Roberts, chance to pass, he may regret. Annesley blows it up. And a penalty goes to Great Britain. And that's for holding. And the first point-scoring opportunity.
Well, there's the ball goes forward there from Alan Hunt. He's ruling Daly is... who's Daly holding back Hunt there, trying to recover the football. There's nothing much in that, really. The ball went forward anyway off Hunt. So unfortunate for Australia there.
I don't think Laurie Daly had any idea where the football was.
I can't see where there was no advantage to be gained by Great Britain getting the ball, so a harsh penalty for mine against Australia, and Davis to have a shot for goal.
Well, I disagree. I think the ball might have been propelled forward off one of the Englishmen. And that, of course, was one breach, but then the penalty was given for something totally different. Now, Jonathan Davis, he turns 32 years of age on Monday. And he is somewhat of a point-scoring whiz.
Yeah, he shouldn't have too many problems with this one. And Powell still receiving attention in the background. I wonder whether he'll be out there too long as Davis moves in.
He's hooked it away.
One of your best, Sterlo. No trouble with that one.
Australia.
Oh, I can't stop him. And that is a real let-off. That would have increased the confidence of the Great Britain team, who already would be feeling as though they're going pretty well in this game. To get the early lead, it would have lifted them again. Fairly good drop out there. We'll see. The tackle made 39 metres out from the Great Britain line. Edwards looking to get some sort of line outside, finds Farrell.
Rolled it back between his legs, but apparently one of the Australians touched it and he nullified the tackle count rather than penalising the British player for his play the ball. They come to the left to Joint now. And Chris Joint from the St Helens club, normally a second rower, playing up on the front row today. And this is Betts. As Harrigan continues to get through plenty of work. The ball goes loose and Annesley says play on, and Edwards goes wide. Connolly is with it. And Renouf is there to put him away. Robinson now scurries away from dummy half. He showed at Central Park that he can score a try out of nothing. Edwards puts the kick across the ground and high. Eddinghausen. Good stuff by Eddinghausen. There's plenty of pressure bearing down on him. Kicking game by Edwards, and to a lesser extent of Davis. Been the platform from what Great Britain have worked, and at the moment it looks to be working for them. But let's not forget the efforts of Eddinghausen, Mullins, Roberts. Good stuff to repel it. Clyde now. Walters out from dummy half. That's his first run from the dummy half position. Away from Big Harrigan, on to Daly. Daly with a face pass. Saylor's got some space.
It's been called back.
But it's been called back.
But a good try there, wasn't it? The tactics of running the ball on the fifth. Saylor only had to be half a metre back, and there was trouble for Great Britain. Saylor was away.
Well, it must have been a pretty close call anyway. Let's have a look. Yeah, probably just did go forward. That is going to be a good option. I thought earlier Australia had an opportunity to run on the fifth tackle. They created a little bit of an overlap on that far side as well. And as you point out, Paulie, the wingers need to be back a little bit on the last tackle in case that option is taken advantage of by the likes of Daly.
Well, it's a play that they would have known was coming. They would have practiced that at training many, many times. So let off there for Great Britain.
Harrison eventually succumbing to the tackle of Harrigan. They go to the short side with Farrell now. Being in his third test match for Great Britain. This is Dennis Betts. Betts, along with Frano Botica, will go to the Auckland Warriors next year. Davis holds it up. Hunt went in as the decoy. Might have been seen by some to be an obstruction. This is Connolly now. New Love would have been his centre partner. Thus Hunt goes to the centres. Now the kick by Edwards is pretty much up and down in the one place, and Saylor puts his body on the line and takes it well as Farrell puts him into the turf.
Well, the idea for Great Britain is a good one. The execution has been very poor. That kick from Edwards, one from Davis. The bomb on these kind of days, very, very effective, but the kick has just been poorly placed. Been a fairly easy catch for both Renouf and on that occasion Saylor.
Well, with Brad Fittler taking it to ground, 35 out from his own line. Let's take a sideline comment from Alex Murphy.
Well, I think, Ray, that Great Britain will be very, very pleased with their starts, because Jonathan Davis will be very, very disappointed with that kick. Really, he'd kicked them in his bedroom slippers. That was a very, very bad miss for him. And that, I think, the Great Britain lads' heads dropped a little bit from that. But it's interesting, just behind me here, we've got all the Great Britain substitutes keeping very, very warm. Ellery Hanley is allowing these lads not to get cold.
Thank you, Alex, as young Robinson just gets back into the field of play. That was dangerous stuff by Jonathan Davis.
Oh, it was great play. I thought it was a super piece of work by Jason Robinson to put himself in a position to allow Davis to throw a pass. Again, those kind of plays change games. If the Kangaroos had have received the ball from a line drop out, they're back on the attack. This way, a chance for Great Britain to get out of the danger area, and they've done it through Offia.
Offia brings the crowd to their feet as he reaches the 20-metre line. Now they get in the queue. This is Powell. Jackson now back for the kick, and Davis obliges. Ball going down on the second bounce for Mullins. What a big moment for Brett Mullins. Indeed, for all the players in their first appearance in a Wembley Test match.
Could almost have been penalised there for a play the ball infringement, Brett Mullins. But this time, a raking of the ball by one of the English players. And that's the play the ball there, the attempted play the ball. They can sometimes go either way, whether the play's been impeded by the tackler or not.
Daly finding the line. 20 metres out from the British line. Still no score in the Test match. Middle part of the first half as Saylor plays it now 15 out from the line. Fittler looking to turn it inside. Now Walters finds Sirenen. Sirenen ran straight at Edwards. He's 2 metres out from the line now. Harrigan is queued up. He runs the decoy. Langer gets away from Dennis Betts. Turns it back for Walters. Walters a short ball for Fittler. Fittler gets it away for Walters. Walters burrows for the line. He's a metre short. Langer now. Fittler. Daly. Then away for the big fella. Meninga's put down.
Oh, good tackle by Alan Hunt.
5 tackles gone, Eddinghausen. Daly across the park. I thought Harrigan might be offside. And Great Britain come down with it. Well, great catch under pressure by Connolly.
Yeah, 2 magic pieces of play. The first by Hunt to take Meninga. And that catch from Gary Connolly was outstanding. I actually thought it should have been a penalty to Great Britain. A lot of Australian players were offside. Off you're out of dummy half.
To the right of the ground now. Farrell. Clark minus the headgear. And a penalty goes to Great Britain. It's against Paul Harrigan.
Ah, good Test match this. Harrigan and Roberts. They've been great for Australia. Look at this. Big tackle on Clark. And now on the other side,
Chris
Harrison and Joint
well.
have been strong as well.
We saw a shot of Barry McDermott warming up on the sidelines. I wonder what kind of reception he'll receive when he comes on.
Well, I can see they're calling for the number 6 to come off in Darryl Powell, so there'll be a major reshuffle here. I'm just wondering who would it be. Alex might be able to tell us who might be going out into that 5/8 position.
Well, that's McDermott there. That's his first touch, and it wasn't a bad one as Powell limps over to the bench.
Don't be surprised if they shift the lock forward. Phil Clark out to standoff. It's a position he has played. Betts gives it away. Davis joins in. Davis to the 20-metre line. Right of the ground. And plenty of space to work in. Through Jackson, it's with Joint. Sirenen, Roberts, Harrigan, the big men. Working overtime. Both teams have been tested. Jackson. Space from dummy half. The last tackle. Edwards back and away for Betts to lose behind him. So the bomb off the boot of Dennis Betts. And Saylor will bring it back to the 20-metre line for the restart.
Well, almost a lull in the play there when that pass was dropped. Great Britain not capitalising on their field position there, and so Paul Harrigan, the man to bring the football out.
I wouldn't be surprised if the first Australian change, we'll see Harrigan come off. He's starting to struggle out there. His work rate has been very, very strong. Just in the last 2 or 3 minutes, it looks as though fatigue has taken hold as Fittler gets a pass back to Meninga. Second phase play now. Steve Walters getting involved.
Well, I suppose with Harrigan, Peter, he didn't play for 6 weeks and then this is his 3rd game in 10 days, so you might be on the mark there.
Daly now. Renoff. Just had to hesitate to go back for the pass. Took a little bit of the impetus away from Renoff. As it comes on for Langer. Sirenen's off one hip and the other fellow, Roberts, off the other. But they wait for Roberts and put him away.
Well, Daly's called for the football again. Langer's now slotted into the first receiver.
Langer now pushing it on for Daly. Then Meninga. Here's a chance. Clyde. Eddinghausen. Oh! Clyde has been smashed.
Oh, he's got to go.
High by Edwards. Edwards got him across the nose.
He's gone.
He sent him off. Edwards has been sent. The English captain has been sent off.
Yeah, good decision there too by Annesley. He doesn't muck around. Off he goes, and he deserves it. He's kidding with that. Clyde still down. Right around the choppers, that one. Could have gone anywhere on Clyde.
Yeah, that's broken nose territory, that one. Did not miss him at all. It's disappointing for Shaun Edwards. We know how much he was looking forward to leading the Great Britain side. But when it's a send-off offence, it is a send-off offence. And the action we just saw from Shaun Edwards falls into that category.
Well, Graham Annesley has just made one of the toughest decisions that a referee could ever hope to make in a test match, Australia and England, or Great Britain at Wembley. He has had to send the captain, Shaun Edwards, off. Only two men sent off at Wembley before. Hines in 71, Ayres in 93.
Well, here we see, and that's just straight across the nose.
It doesn't come any more deliberate than that. So for mine, you can see the pain on Bradley Clyde's face even there. He's still groggy. You know, this could cost Australia a player. He's very, very sick.
And you can see by the way that he fell. Look at that. It's sickening stuff. Unfortunately, hopefully Brad Clyde will be okay.
It's been an unhappy hunting ground for Brad Clyde. I told you earlier in 1992 with the World Cup side. He didn't last long in that. That was nothing foul. It was simply that shoulder that left him crippled, and he had to be replaced.
Well, Australia now is looking to take a quick tap, but this is trouble for Great Britain. This might cost them another replacement because they've lost their half, they've lost their 5'8".
And Clyde leaving the field now. David Furner. I'm sure that he wanted to get into the game, but not under these circumstances. And a little bit of history created here, Ray, with David Furner coming on. And Bradley Clyde leaving the field.
Yeah, well, of course, David Furner is the son of Don Furner, who played for Australia. And only 3 fathers and sons have accomplished that. And this is the third of them as Australia now go on the attack. Walters with a dummy to one prop forward and then finds the other. Harrigan it is. 2 metres out from the line. Great Britain reduced to 12 men. Walters on for Fettler. Fettler does the stepping. He's pulled down 3 metres out from the line. Walters is in there at acting half. He goes wide for Langer on the right. Langer put away. Oh, great defence by Clark. Now it's with Mullins. Mullins is 3 metres out, tackle 5. Meninga, the captain, puts the kick right across the ground. They're all onside. Oh, Saylor has deflected it forward, so the advantage. And Robinson plays it.
Well, they repelled all borders there. Good defence there by Great Britain. But Bobby Goulding will have to come onto the football field. They've got no one to lead their charges, Great Britain. As far as the rucks are concerned and feeding the scrums, they need a halfback on there.
Clark crashing his way up to the 20-metre line. He's probably the most sought after of all the Englishmen. Philip Clark, and he gets a penalty.
And again, it was Paul Harrigan just persevering too long in the tackle as Bobby Goulding receiving some last-minute instructions. And Jonathan Davis finds touch 40 metres out from his own line. A superhuman effort needed now by the Great Britain side.
They have done it before, history tells us. Sometimes against incredible odds. As McDermott is driven down, Langer and Furner making the tackle. Davis away. Clark is there. The runaround offered, and Davis is back with it. And put down right on the halfway line. Jackson now. Off to the right, but there's very little personnel there. In fact, just looking at this Great Britain forward pack, they're starting to to feel the pinch of a lengthening first half. Joint now. 42 metres out from the Australian line. This is the last tackle. Davis. He gets his kick away, but he had to hurry it. Straight up and down in the one place. The ball bouncing across for Martin Offia. Offia, he loses it. And Langer to play it now. Ferner, his first touch. A comment from Alex Murphy on the sidelines regarding Bradley Clyde.
Well, Bradley Clyde has got lacerations of the mouth and a slight concussion, but they're hoping they can get him back on very, very quickly. I don't think Graham Atherley had a lot of options but to send him off, Sean Edwards. It was a bad tackle, and I think Bradley Clyde was just about to come into the game. He's playing a big game indeed.
Sirenen now on the halfway line. Comments from the sideline from the great Alex Murphy. Daly behind Meninga, looking for Mullins. That's that Canberra play, and Mullins not held and gone again, loses it now. Exuberance took over from execution. Davis! Now Davis was put down late. Whether there was any foul...
Yeah, it's a penalty.
The penalty's been given where the ball landed.
I just felt that Sirenen turned his back and Davis ran into him, but Ciro did it on purpose, no doubt about it.
Let's
Davis,
have a look at it.
He puts the long one in. Ciro just goes whooshka. Didn't hurt him, but now Great Britain get another penalty, and will they have a shot for goal? One would think so.
Well, it was a brave piece of play from Jonathan Davis on the first tackle, or before the first tackle had been completed. This is the head-high tackle once again. Left the ground, through the arm out. And as I said, sickening the way that Clyde fell. And Bobby Goulding now comes into the fray. Andrew Farrell leaves the field. So it will be interesting to find out just what kind of makeup this Great Britain side will now put together with the changes they've had to make.
Very unfortunate for that man, Andrew Farrell. He's played quite well, and he's been replaced out of necessity more than anything. But I'll tell you what Bobby Goulding will do. He'll spark this Great Britain side. He'll get them going forward.
Bit of a wild child. And he has played very well this year. One of the form players in England at the moment.
Jonathan Davis in his 13th test for Great Britain. And this one, it's there! 2-0 then, Great Britain over Australia. Here's a break.
Strongbow draft, thanks. Strongbow. Sweet, dry or draft. All you have to do is ask.
I'll bet you $10 that if you play 10 four-number games in a row, you'll win. If you don't win anything, I'll give you $10 back. The bet's on at your club now. Ooh.
But let's not be now when I'm
Back at Wembley, thank you for joining us, wherever you're watching. 2-0 Great Britain, a penalty goal to Jonathan Davis. Great Britain against the odds with 12 men. We start to look now at half-time. And Harrison it is, beyond the 30-metre line. Big welcome to our viewers in New Zealand through TV3 and through the South Pacific and Southeastern Asia through Star Television out of Hong Kong. And on relay, apparently on telecast to 14 other countries across that way. And we hope these pictures are clearer today. We are aware that there has been some problems, but these are coming, I believe, through a more direct fashion. So good morning to you if you're watching it, particularly on the eastern seaboard of Australia. And I would imagine enjoying it, because this is one hell of a test match.
It's been great. It's had everything. There's another mistake there by Paul Harrigan, getting a little bit weary. So Great Britain now on the fly, on the attack through Betts.
Betts puts the ball down.
Well, he's offside.
And this is a penalty to Australia. Well, Dennis Betts has had an unhappy match in many ways. Offia concerned about the penalty, and Brad Clyde is waiting to come back on. That's the good news for Australia. Dennis Betts just trying to squeeze the pass. Maybe it was a pass you'd expect later in the game as Brad Clyde comes back on. Eddinghausen crosses the halfway. 2-0 in favour of Great Britain, the Lions. Fettler is put away, 40 metres out. Ferner goes off as Clyde goes on, and that does not classify as a replacement. It's away now for Langer, and across the back, Daly, Meninga. And they're just beyond the 30-metre line. Intense first half, dramatic at times. And just the 2 points on the board off the boot of Jonathan Davis. The last for Langer. High. Davis underneath it. Crossbar didn't help, but it goes over the dead ball line.
Yeah, great kick by Alan Langer. When you put those balls up, they've got to have some height. That had plenty.
Well, this will be an interesting ruling here because it's a scrum, and the team in the attacking region should get the feed. I've got a feeling that he's given it to the Great Britain side. Well, I question that ruling. It's away for Hunt. Offia, he's got some daylight. Pulled down by Mullins. Goulding. Cross for Clark. Into the hands of Betts. Now for Davis. Davis to the 20-metre line. Mullins is after him. And Davis, he scores. Sensational try.
Well, great work from Great Britain, starting from the scrum win. Bobby Goulding setting up an attacking raid on the left-hand side to Alan Hunt and Martin Offia. And then a brilliant backline move, the big dummy from Jonathan Davis. Hook, line and sinker, the backline from the Australians fell for it. And then enough speed to stay on the outside of Brett Mullins and score in the corner. They've looked more enthusiastic. They've looked a little bit faster at times. Brad Fittler couldn't get across in time and ran off, stayed on the outside.
Wow, what a great try to Great Britain. 12 men, they're up against it, and they're playing some very good football. Nice ball from Dennis Betts. 3-on-2, the Australians there. Fittler couldn't foot it with Davis. He hasn't been in the game, Davis. All of a sudden, he kicked a goal, then runs 40 metres to score a wonderful, wonderful try here at Wembley.
And I've got to say that I thought that Jonathan Davis had slowed down over the last couple of seasons. But this one run alone has shown that he can still mix it with the best of them in the speed department.
I'll tell you what, Pete, I thought he'd heard. He had Dennis Betts on the inside with only Mullins to beat, but he winged it. He put his foot down and went for it.
So Davis, with about 4 minutes of the first half remaining, misses converting his own try. But Great Britain 6, Australia 0. Noise here at Wembley as we welcome you back is deafening now. Just about anything that happens that looks remotely good for the Great Britain side brings a roar from this massive crowd, and why wouldn't they roar? 21 years Australia has held the Ashes. Wembley's been a happy hunting ground for them as it's played by Jackson.
And Ray, I'd imagine the Australians now would be even more disappointed as Bobby Goulding gets a very good kick down. It's going to stay in the field of play. We're not going over the dead ball or sideline, and Eddinghausen's been taken in the in-goal area. Great chase, great kick. They're on a roll.
Well, E.T.'s the ball is actually over the line there, but Anazzi's ruling that E.T., when he was hit, he grounded the football in the in-goal. Tries in vain to get out. Great attempt. Nice tackle by Goulding. There's where he grounds the football. So good decision. Annesley having a top match.
I'm just talking about the disappointment, Ray. Of course, that decision, the quick restart attempted by Great Britain 20 metres out when the ball was thrown into the referee. We talked about the interpretation of the attacking team getting the football. They'll probably believe that they should have had the ball down that end of the field attacking themselves. Robinson now. A couple of minutes out for half-time. Wouldn't be surprised to see a drop goal from Davis.
Betts now. Formerly the villain and then the hero. A match with many mistakes in it for Dennis Betts, but then giving the final pass for Jonathan Davis. They're 20 metres away from the Australian line. It's on and to the boot of Goulding. He does exactly what Peter Sterling thought they might set up for. Just on that ruling, as Bob Fulton heads for the dressing rooms, it is my understanding that if the referee is struck by the football and it interferes with the course of the game, the scrum would be packed. And this is where the ruling becomes very intricate. I was of the opinion that the feed of the scrum would go to the team in the attacking zone, not necessarily the team on attack, but the team in the attacking zone. So if you're in your opponent's half, you would get the feed no matter what happened. It's a rule that very seldom you come in contact with.
Well, an awful mistake there from Steve Walters. Hasn't looked as sharp as what we normally expect from Steve Walters. He did come into this game carrying a back injury, and now gives another chance for Great Britain to register a point or more before the half-time break. I still think if they can get a long-range attempt, they'll be looking for the drop goal.
Goulding is looking sharp. Plays it 30 metres out from the Australian line. Betts it is. 5 tackles gone, and they'll chance the air again. Jackson for Goulding. Goulding puts it in behind Eddinghausen. In touch, in goal. Back to the 20-metre line for the restart. The lights have been turned on at Wembley. It's become very dark. The breeze has come up somewhat. It will favour Australia in the second half. That's if it has much of an effect down there. There's the siren. The hooter signals the end of a dramatic and at times sensational half of rugby league. They roll their sleeves up, the front rowers. They had plenty of work to do. Such has been the way this game has unfolded. Harrison now. 30 metres out from his line. Jackson shovels it on. It's gone to McDermott and across for Joint. Joint pulled down by Brad Fittler.
Come on, your base, let's go!
Last tackle now as it goes on. Oh, into no man's land. Rolls along the ground. Betts gets a short kick in. And as he says, play on, and Daly is with it. Well, that's cheap possession. And they come up with the ball on the first tackle. Only 40 metres out as Langer works to the right of the ground looking for Eddinghausen. Meninga now comes back to the left with his pass for Harrigan. Harrigan, 35 out from the Great Britain line. 6-0 in favour of the home side. A try for Davis after 25. Harrigan now. Or Roberts, that is. Walters at acting half. Play will come to the left, and Langer runs with Walters, who goes himself, and Walters contributes a further 8 or 9 metres. This is the last. Fittler is looking for it. Langer puts the kick over, looking for Saylor, but it's dead. It's over the dead ball line. Kick from Alan Langer with too much weight on it. Australia, they're not back to 10, and England goes for Martin Offia, but he's put down.
And in 10 seconds, we've just seen the difference between these two football teams at the moment. The enthusiasm for the quick restart from Great Britain to get their most dangerous attacking weapon involved in Martin Offia. And the Australians, they hadn't got back and reacted.
Comment on the sidelines from Alex Murphy.
Well, just looking at this game down here, there seems to be a big problem with Laurie Daly. He looks as though he's got a corky leg, and he's just limping all over the field. But Alan Langer's having one hell of a time down here. He's looking for runners, and there is nobody about.
Now they're 40 metres out from the Great Britain line as the ball turned over possession against the run of play. Daly using Fittler. Great pass by Fittler. Mullins sees an opening. Mullins is striding out. Mullins is going for the corner, but pulled down by Robinson and by Davis. Now they need to quick play the ball. It's with Wendell Saylor. Saylor goes across the ground and held by Dennis Betts. Still they're 10 metres out. Australia needing a converted try to level. Walters on for Langer. Langer out the back. It's with Daly. They got 3 on 2. Meninga can't take it. It's with Great Britain now. 15 out from their line. What a match we're seeing here. This is Hunt.
Yeah, this is Test Rugby League at its best. The pressure from Offia forced the mistake from Meninga. Eddinghausen was unmarked on the outside. And again, Great Britain repel the Australian attack. And now answering kind. Bobby Goulding, well taken by Ian Roberts high. Paul Harrigan low.
Sensible work by Goulding, everything he's done. It's been percentage stuff. This is the time to kick. This is the time to run. And Goulding has taken all the right options. Here he is again. The kick going down to the goal line for Mullins, who's just made a long run. Eddinghausen telling him to go to Wendell Sailor's wing. That's where Mullins goes, and he's tackled 20 metres out from his line. Goulding on camera having a fine game. Langer, a dummy half now, as the play the ball is slowed up somewhat. Some of these Australians, when they get up to play the ball, they're more worried about the tackler and the marker than getting a quick play the ball on.
There's some movement on the bench from the Australians now as Ian Roberts nearly gets through the front line. Dean Pay in 16 coming to the sidelines and will be into the fray very, very shortly. Fatty, I was just wondering, what about Ricky Stewart? Would he be tempted to get him out there?
Well, I think else he's trying his little heart out, Alfie, as Fittler is finding some space up the middle.
Fittler with the big step. Langer's with him. Langer, what a tackle by Davis. Well, Davis is having a 10 out of 10 here. It's gone away from Harrigan on. It's with Walters, the last tackle. Daly for Meninga. Meninga kicks looking for Eddinghausen, but it goes dead in goal.
But that Fittler break, Brad Fittler, when he threw the ball to Langer, he looked up and there was no one in front of him. Davis had made his decision to go for Langer, leaving Fittler on his own. Penalty now to Australia. Must be for one of the Australians being held back.
Well, the penalty's been given where the ball landed off the boot of Meninga, so Meninga must have been interfered with after he kicked the ball. That's the way I would read it.
Well,
they take the tap now and they come across.
Paul Sirenan's left the field, Ray.
Out. Roberts gets it on. It's with Langer. There's a chance here for the green and golds. Langer is put down. 11 out, centre of the ground. They're short on troops on the left as they try to mark up one-on-one. Walters away for a big run by Harrigan. Harrigan straining to get to the line but pulled down. Walters now selectively looks around, looking for Alan Langer to give him a call. Langer's with it now. Daly is with it. Daly now gets a decoy run from Pay. It's with Renoff, or Ferner it was. Renoff is tackled. They lose ground. 12 metres out from the Great Britain line. A great opportunity, but Great Britain seem to be marking up much better now. They've got their defence line organised. Sailor, he'll play the ball. 9 metres out from the line. Walters a dummy half. Uses Langer. They go wide to the right, and across there they go. And it is Dean Pay who's put away. The last tackle is with us now. Langer, the grubbing kick, and he loses the ball. Chris Joint. A chance was there for Langer. Just wondering which way Annesley has ruled here. So what great defence it was by Great Britain.
You think they've got 14 out there, not 12. There's the mistake by Joint. Langer couldn't pick the ball up and dive over, but it will be an Australian feed, so more pressure. It looks as though they've sorted something out in the back line here. Some move, maybe Mal Meninga getting involved.
Australia winning the scrum. Daly. Oh,
great.
Daly. He's away from Clark's tackle. Clark came up and tried to put Daly out of it. Daly playing the ball now. 10 metres out from the line. Daly is injured in the back play. Roberts gets it away. A flick pass out for Mullins. Mullins taken by Jackson. 10-metre line, right in the centre of the park. Danger for Great Britain. Walters across. Harrigan tries to push off a tackler. Hunt comes in to combine. He and Goulding put him away.
He looks like he's gone, Laurie Daly. A couple of tackles left. He's out of the play.
Fittler now, across from the pass. Taken on the bounce by Langer. Given to David Ferner. Oh, Ferner looked back in field. He had two men. 2-on-1 on the left. Ferner to play it. This is the fourth tackle. Daly, as you can see, is hunched over, and the slowing of the play the ball. It's now with Fittler, and Fittler dummies to Langer. Back across the line to Harrigan. Harrigan to Eddinghausen. They're going out to Daly. Daly really isn't fit enough to run, but he's going to try. Daly, he gets it back for Fittler. Fittler! And he can't get it down. It's with Eddinghausen. He can't handle Great Britain. Oh, tremendous play.
Turn it up. What about this Great Britain defence? Nothing short of sensational. Gutsy, a try for all you like here. Brad Fittler's going for the football, the try line there. Connolly and Offia pull him back. The flick back out the back there, and E.T. then. The fumbling happens, and what's Annesley ruled here? Should be a Great Britain ball.
Jonathan Davis again coming up with a big play, getting on the loose ball. And there's Ricky Stewart taking the tracksuit top off.
Well, this is probably the best test match I think I've ever seen. There's been some mistakes, but they have to come when you're playing the game at this level, at this intense level. 6-0, 12 men, and the Australian bench will take a break and be back at Wembley in just a moment. Wembley, Laurie Daly has succumbed to a leg injury. Ricky Stewart has gone on, and Harrigan, I fancy Harrigan has gone to the blood bin. Whilst they were replacing Daly, Harrigan beckoned to the bench, and I fancy that it's a blood bin for Harrigan. As Sirenen comes back into the game.
We would imagine that would mean Ricky Stewart will slot into the 5'8" position.
Well, that shades of 4 years ago, isn't it, when Langer and Stewart with a half and standoff here when Great Britain beat Australia at Wembley.
Jonathan Davis has been receiving attention for quite some time, and that is the reason for the hold-up. Outstanding game has been offered by the little Welshman. And that right shoulder doesn't look all that healthy right now. So Great Britain winning the scrum, and Goulding, controversial little player. Offia now. Stewart is on in 14. I guess he would be playing at 5'8". That is Carl Harrison.
And unfortunately for Great Britain, it does look as though Jonathan Davis will be leaving the field with that shoulder injury as Jason Robinson picks up a couple of metres. And that will be a big loss. He's been their best player.
Bateman will come on in jumper 16, Alan Bateman. As Goulding schemes and then gets his kick in, making his own time, and he finds the line and brings a roar.
Oh, my word, that was a good kick. He was under all sorts of pressure there, Bobby Goulding. He fumbled, then he had Australian players coming at him, still managed to get his kick away, and that's good field position now for the Great Britain side as Alan Bateman comes on. And also from the Warrington club. It's a big game, Davis. Talk of him coming to Canterbury to finish off his career.
A little bit of a doubt before the game about Alan Bateman. He came out here well and truly before the kickoff. Something of a hamstring problem, a strain. So he gave it a good warm-up. Necessary now for Great Britain that he's okay as Renoff. Great tackle on the inside there from Connolly.
Jonathan Davis back on the Great Britain bench. Penalty goes to Australia. Infringement in the play the ball. What's the problem with Jonathan Davis, Alex, officially?
He could have a dislocated shoulder. There's a little bit of concern about it. The doctor's here with him now, and they don't know whether it is or it isn't, but it is a little bit painful, and Jonathan wants to go back on, but I don't think he will be doing.
That's a damn shame for him, because he's probably just played his best international ever. Roberts now on the halfway line. Walter's a dummy half as he goes across to the wide blind, and it's Furner. Furner told to play the ball. Roberts back. Dean Pay. He's been one of the stars of the tour. Never say die. You can always hope that Dean Pay will get you a pass. Walters into the centre for Langer. Langer back. Dean Pay is there. And he's tackled 10 metres out. 5 tackles gone for the Kangaroos. Walters gets it away. Stewart turns it in. Fittler runs it, then puts it on the boot. And Martin Offia kicks it over the dead ball line.
Well, with Jonathan Davis off the field, Great Britain very fortunate they have a player in Gary Connolly who has played so much football in that position. He came up with a super tackle there. Ball back inside to Brad Fittler on the last tackle. He took the option of kicking again. They just don't look like cracking, this Great Britain team.
Carl Harrison has been replaced now by Mick Cassidy. So they've got no more left. Ferner. 22 minutes of the second half, elapsed time. Serenin. Cassidy on, Harrison off. That's Cassidy in the headgear. Now for Fittler. Meninga's coming flat and hard. And Fittler is pulled down. 12 metres out from the line. Walters across. Langer. Stewart in 14. Dummies inside for Ferner. Back for Mullins. Mullins now. 18 out from the line. Walters a short ball up for Pay. Inside for Serenin. Serenin, a one-handed pass to ground and into the hands of Great Britain.
Well, it was a good short ball there by Dean Pay, who's looked very impressive since he's been on. De Ciro, who beat one but couldn't control the football. Crowd calling for penalties now for Great Britain.
Robinson coming off his wing and realising that the forwards must be dog-tired, taking a play out. 16 is Bateman, called into the squad when Ulove submitted to an injury. Robinson now. 5 metres from the halfway line, the scoreboard, no change. 6-0 in favour of Great Britain, hoping to pull off a shock victory over the Kangaroos. Saylor comes out of his corner. Goulding smashes him up the top. Robinson underneath. They are really playing like men possessed. Mullins almost through the last thread of defence. Mullins playing it eventually for Walters, a long pass on for Langer. Stewart to the line, Meninga the short ball, ran off a juggle, and then he's pulled down 28 metres out from his own line. 6-0 then. About 15 minutes of the match remaining, maybe a little bit more than that. This is Roberts, 10 metres from the halfway line. Across now for Stewart to give on to Fittler. Fittler really trying hard to make the break himself. The last tackle, and Langer puts it down over the head of young Robinson, forcing the scrum 20 metres out. Harrigan, I suspected a blood bin, is back on, and Serenin is off. And this crowd, they are loving it. 57,500, a record crowd at a test match in Great Britain.
And somehow the Australians need to force a mistake at this end of the field and then work out a way that they can capitalise on this one-man advantage they have. The sliding defence from Great Britain has been very effective. Their work up the middle has been great. David Ferner, Fittler trying to put something on straight up the middle of the ruck, but they've been very strong.
Here's Robinson again. Centre of the ground, just beyond the 30-metre line. Pictures from BBC. And this telecast going right across Australia and up into Southeast Asia, down into New Zealand through TV3. And if each of the tests are as good as this one, we're in for some very, very late nights and some high-pressure stuff as they find the line. Just inside the Australian 20-metre line, again off the boot of that man Goulding.
Well, I think now Great Britain's big go would be to try and force a mistake from Australia and try and land this field goal thereafter. They haven't been territorial. It's been all Australia in the second half. They've been camped down in Great Britain's half, can't get across the line, but if they get a chance down here, 7-0, could be all over.
Again, that's very intelligent play when you're leading on the scoreboard and the clock is ticking away. Kick for touch, wind it down, everything's in your favour by playing those kind of tactics. And then tackle as though your life depends on it, and that's what Great Britain have done all through this game. Sailor tackled 20 metres out from his own line.
Well, how many times have we heard it that Great Britain Rugby League... Oh, intercept by Jackson! That's the mistake they were looking for. Jackson will play it. They're 15 out from the Aussie line. Across to Cassidy. The back was so deep he couldn't remotely get a pass to them.
Well, I wouldn't be waiting for the fifth. I'd be going one more and then putting the drop goal over.
Here's Hunt now from dummy half with a good run. 14 tries this season. Offia's the only one that scored more than him. Here's Offia. Offia goes himself. 2 metres from the line. The roar is thunderous as Offia plays the ball. Jackson on for Goulding. The bomb, Sailor, he lets it go. And it'll come out to the 20-metre line.
Well, I think that's a waste. They had a great opportunity there to gain an advantage, make Australia score twice, and they just fluffed it. Put the little kick in for Robinson, who's been great for them, but ill-judged.
6-0. Time ticking away. 28 minutes of the match gone, second half. Langer, he's beaten 2 and pulled down in a third. Across now for Roberts to give to his front row partner Harrigan. Walters out from dummy half, pursued by Jackson, turning it in for Meninga. And Mal is put down. 40 out from the Great Britain line now. 6-0 the home side. The Lions in front. Roberts, the ball back fortuitously off Eddinghausen for pay. But everywhere the Australians half get a smell of it. There's 2 and 3 British defenders. Langer gets a pass away for Walters. He gets it out the back. Pay gets it on. It's gone away now to Ferner. And 5 have gone. Walters onto the boot of Stewart. Mullins is after it very quickly. Robinson did well. Then there's some space. Great performance by the little winger.
He is a dead-set superstar, this Jason Robinson. I know of a couple of Sydney clubs already chasing his signature when this Great Britain season is over, and he has nearly been the best player in the field. He's done some things today which only great players can do.
Alan Langer has stayed down after that attempted tackle on Martin Offia, and he has schemed and probed and tried everything, but I'm really critical of the support play from the Australian team today. I really believe that Mal Meninga and Steve Renouf have got to get involved and try and get into this game to bust it open.
Offia runs to the Australians, uses Bateman, who gives it for Robinson. Renouf the tackler, 5 gone. 5 into Australia's area with Goulding, who kicks high and wide. McDermott's offside for Great Britain. Mullins comes away. It should have been a penalty, but he didn't give it. Mullins, 27 out from his own line. Meninga. Langer looking for that ever so elusive hole in the Great Britain line. It just hasn't come. Fittler's tried everything he knows. Langer likewise. Now the face ball. Renouf. And Renouf, his reputation went before him at Wembley. He scored the try in the World Cup in '92. He's been a marked man today. And now it's out for Roberts. And a really heavy hit. The ball goes back. Pay gets it out for Eddinghausen. Offia's onto him. And Eddinghausen thinks about giving the pass. But Offia wraps him up. Meninga at dummy half. Barely time to get the pass on. Stewart, but the ball has come down to Goulding. Goulding to Offia. Offia, the pass is forward. It's been recalled.
Well, great work from Lee Jackson and Bobby Goulding. He can't believe it, Martin Offia, but there was a hint of a forward pass there, and that's an unbiased call. A little chip attempted by Stewart, knocked back into the hands of Goulding by Lee Jackson, and that is forward.
But Stella, I think he's ruling initial knock back. The knock on there forward. See where the scrum is? That's 20 metres back from where the pass was thrown.
Well, Brett Mullins is still down receiving attention. Lee Jackson slow back into play. Martin Offia's got a problem. A war of attrition.
That's what Test football is all about. A battle of the fittest. And hopefully the smartest on the day. They go wide for Renouf to combine with Meninga. Sailor's outside, Renouf's inside. And Clark makes the tackle. Sailor a dummy half. Stewart angling in behind the play the ball. Furner. 6-0. No change to the half-time score. Made possible for Great Britain by Jonathan Davis. Just outside the 20-metre line. Is this the opportunity Australia's been working for? Langer, Stewart, they work together. And put down and tackled is Harrigan. Walters again, runs himself from dummy half. And Walters is put away, 15 out from the line. Eddinghausen a dummy half. Langer at first receiver. Stewart at second. Furness coming up. Meninga gives it on. Renouf is with it. Renouf the dummy and the try. Renouf, he gets it down. Australia on the board, but trailing 6-4.
And there it was. Great Britain have had 12 men for about 40 or 50 minutes and finally taken its toll as Renouf still down after scoring the try. And great try to Australia. They haven't looked like scoring for much of the game, but there they just had the overlap. And the good short passing was what it was all about. Stewart to Meninga, simple draw and pass there, 2-on-1, and Renouf too much speed for the Great Britain cover.
Yes, eventually the Great Britain team have got to tire. And on that occasion, you see some knees come over the cross on Steve Renouf's back there, which was a little nasty, hopefully unintended. But this is just a nice backline move. There you see Jason Robinson. He's caught in no man's land. Renouf dives over the top, and there's the set of knees coming in. Good ball from Mal Meninga, putting Renouf into space. The dummy from Renouf. He's got a bit of work to do to get through Connolly, then over the top of Robinson. And Phil Clark is the man coming in a little bit carelessly.
What a kick now for David Furner, Ravi.
I'm just thinking how stupid that might have been from Phil Clark. Annesley could have been pressured into an 8-point try. And at 6-0, that's the last thing you need to give.
He wouldn't have got out of the stadium alive, Ray.
Furner, 4 metres in from touch, 20 metres out. Can he level? He kicks it, and it's gone across the face of the uprights, much to the joy of the Great Britain crowd. 6-4, back to Wembley in a moment. The kickoff is received by Mullins as we welcome you back, wherever you're taking our telecast. 9 networks, exclusive coverage of the Kangaroo Tour. And right now the Kangaroos are in bother. 6-4 down, and my timepiece indicates there's about 4 minutes to go. It might be with some time on. No marker, so Fittler goes on and gives it for Pay. Pay crosses the halfway line. Great Britain have been there. They've led all the way. They've done it with 12. They have to hang on. But Furner is trying to break it and break their hearts at the same time. Langer puts the kick in. Oh, it's too deep. And it'll come back to the 20-metre line for the restart.
Well, he had a chance to run to the line there. 4 quick play the balls in a row was a very good roll-on for the Kangaroos. I know that Alan Langer was definitely looking to get the ball back from the line drop out. Just too much weight.
Let's go to the sidelines, Alex Murphy.
I'm just a little bit puzzled, Ray, by the tactics of the Australians. Surely it would be in their interest to keep this ball alive. The Great Britain lads must be very, very tired now, and surely they've got to dig deep and keep the ball alive.
While Alex was talking, Hilary Hanley on the phone. Clark to the halfway line. 6-4 in favour of the Lions. Betts, their captain, sent off late in the first half. 12 men have struggled. Now it's joint, and Walters comes over the top. Furner underneath. 5 tackles are gone. As Goulding goes for the drop goal, but it's over the dead ball line and wide.
Well, that's not something you really need at 6'4". Better off putting the ball into the in goal. They took the chance to it. So now Australia 70 metres away from a match-winning try.
Sailor now. Sailor trying to crack them. Clark, one of the stars of this victory, if it's to be a victory. Langer, Stewart, Meninga, Mullins coming up. He gets the pass onto him, but Offia rides him into the ground. Eddinghausen, Stewart, the run around for Eddinghausen. He comes across the park, and Joint goes up with Jackson to make the tackle. 2 minutes on my watch, plus time on. Ferner, 32 metres out from the Great Britain line.
They've just about got to run this one. Fittler first receiver, links across to Stewart.
Then the face pass. It goes to ground. Eddinghausen kicks it. And that will be brought back by the Great Britain centre, Connolly. Slow play the ball by Gary Connolly. Offia. In fact, Hunt. Cassidy. One of several players in their debut in Test football. Jonathan Davis back in the dressing rooms. And that is Alan Bateman. You'll see him, I guess, for Wales at Cardiff next Sunday. This is Jackson, and here's the singing.
And a penalty. Exactly what Australia did not need. Another set of 6 for Great Britain. And Lee Jackson, he's had a wow of a game. A tremendous battle with Steve Walters this afternoon. Intelligent running. Some strong defence. And Great Britain now looking to control the football. No mistakes. You'll see slow play the balls. Nothing needed from this side except to maintain their composure.
Robinson playing it. Away for McDermott.
G's been strong since he's been on there, McDermott, along with Chris Joint, being Great Britain's 2 best forwards. Now another penalty goes to Great Britain.
Well, that'll start them singing again. This is enough to make any of them sing, really.
Well, 12 fingers just got pointed straight at the goal, and it was the fingers of these Great Britain players. They all want 2 points here. And a play the ball infringement that Paul Harrigan has been involved in on a couple of occasions. There you can see the hand involved where the football is. And Bobby Goulding will step up.
Well, I suppose Graham Menzies, he gave the penalty, but he had no choice. Harrigan all over the man. And Goulding's been in great form kicking for St Helens.
Well, can you believe this?
This has been one of the best matches I've ever seen of rugby league. Test match at Wembley, one of the great test matches of all time, and probably, if Great Britain win this match, one of the greatest victories in the history of the match, of the game. I'm gone.
History of the match of the game.
Well, they won here in 73, and they won here in 90. They've played 4 times on the hallowed turf. Australia winning in 78 and the World Cup in 1992. Memorable day for Phil Clark. His dad was in the Lions team that won in 73. And there's the captain, well-dressed, back on the bench. Goulding's kick, it's up there! He's kicked the goal! And the crowd of 57,000 looking at the timepiece. They consider that's a victory. 8 points to 4. A shallow restart by Langer, just getting over the 10-metre line.
Numbers to the right, they've got to go that way.
Langer now, a long ball over for Stewart, who kept the series in England alive, you might remember last time here. The ball loose. Offia using the feet to keep it alive. Annesley says play on. And eventually Offia is tackled over the top by Meninga. Annesley calling timeout. Certainly into the time-on period. McDermott.
And I suppose this man, Ellery Hanley, deserves a rap in his debut as Great Britain coach. He's had them so well drilled, so well pumped up. And they've purely and simply outplayed the Australians today.
This is joint. But imagine promoters would be wishing they'd put the last 2 test matches at Wembley now.
And knock on there from Alan Langer. It was their final chance. Knock on both ways. And what about this next game at Old Trafford?
Australia winning the scrum. Is this their last hope? And Renouf put away 40 metres out from his line. Bateman one tackler, Clark the other. And now Fittler, the kick and the hope of the regather. But the ball handball down to Connolly. And Connolly is eventually secured by Furner. Robinson now running at the big forwards, looking to get around them. Tackle made by Paul Harrigan. Robinson in the centre of the park. Offia finding Betts. Oh, Stewart's tackle looked high. A groan from the crowd. Jackson, and he's put down again by Harrigan and Stewart with Roberts underneath. The hooter must be only seconds away as Cassidy runs into the shoulder of Dean Pay. There it is! The test match is over at Wembley. Great Britain, the Lions, have beaten Australia 8 points to 4 to get away to a 1-0 lead in their quest to wrest the Ashes back. 21 years Australia has held them. Is this the turn of the tide we're watching? Australians, they will tell you that it's happened before. They will come back. Harrigan's not all that impressed with one of the opponents, being jostled away by some of his teammates. But a magnificent effort.
And you've got to thank all the players who were involved. They gave a tremendous effort. It was absolutely marvellous. Every player to play with 12 players against Australia shows a lot of commitment and a lot of guts. You know, take nothing away from Australia. They're still a champion side, though. And make no mistake about it, they'll be back against us straight away. We've still got a lot of work to do still. Obviously, we're going to celebrate for the night away and everything. But as I said, we've got a lot of work and we've got a lot of respect. Just 1 second. Thank you all.
Yes, Ellery Hanley congratulated by Bob Fulton. We're taking some sideline interviews from the BBC.
When Sean had gone, the pressure would be on, but you know, the players played tremendously well. I'm very, very proud of them. And also I'd like to say thank you to all the coaches out there who wrote us all off, and all the other people who wrote us off, the journalists, everybody. I'm just proud of my guys. I know it's a tough task for us, but we obviously stuck to our task, and they carried out the game plan great. I mean, they probably made about a couple of mistakes, errors, but you know, in a football game you can't complain.
But a try fit to win the match.
Excuse me?
A try fit to win the match, Jonathan Davis.
Oh yeah, tremendously, you know. Yeah, everybody played the part. You can't single out one single player. You know, the subs came on and they did their job.
Congratulations, enjoy it.
All right, thanks a lot.
Well, look at the crowd. Britain, the Lions have beaten Australia to get away to a 1-0 lead.
Now the primary mission for